resist every temptation to do evil, and realign their minds to believe that wealth and riches came from God to those who trusted in Him and did His will.
The rich man's wealth is his sources, but the destruction of the poor is their poverty. So poverty is a destroyer, and I want you to hate it with all the hatred you can muster. Don't bet it. Don't be used to it. Poverty is so bad. Can a snake be lying under your bed sheet and you see me sleeping? That's how you should get poverty. And I told you previously, poverty, premature death, and sickness, they are the three causes of life. Read it from Deuteronomy 28, from 15 to 10.
The service featured choral renditions and prayers for God's blessings on His people. Esther Oputa reporting. Professor Chukwuma Soludo has been re-elected governor of Anambra State, winning across all 21 local government areas of the state in the governorship election. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) declared Professor Soludo of the All Progressives Grand Alliance (APGA) the winner, having secured 422,664 votes to defeat his closest rival, Mr. Nicholas Ukachukwu of the All Progressives Congress (APC), who polled 99,445 votes. Mr. Paul Chukwuma of the Young Progressives Party (YPP) came in third place with 37,753 votes. The total number of accredited voters stood at 598,229, while valid votes were 584,054, and rejected votes were 11,244. Observers described the poll as generally peaceful, despite reports of low voter turnout and incidents of vote buying in some polling units. The European Union Election Observer Mission and local monitors commended the overall conduct of the exercise. Meanwhile, the Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, has thanked the people of Anambra State for their support after being declared winner of the governorship election by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). Speaking at his country home in Iswafia, Agwata local government area of the state, Professor Soludo hailed the high voter turnout and praised citizens for trusting his leadership. He commended INEC Chairman Professor Joash Amupitan for conducting a credible poll and lauded President Bola Tinubu for ensuring a free and fair election. The governor called for unity and collaboration with his opponents to move the state forward. In a related development, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project (SERAP) has urged the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to hand over vote buyers identified during the Anambra governorship election to anti-graft agencies for investigation and prosecution. SERAP, in a statement by its Deputy Director, Mr. Kolawole Oluwadare, warned that widespread cash inducement across multiple polling units threatened Nigeria's democratic process. The rights group claimed that vote buying incidents were reported in full view of election officials without intervention from security personnel. SERAP stressed that unless perpetrators of such electoral offenses were promptly investigated and prosecuted by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Commission (ICPC), the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), and the police, future elections would continue to suffer from impunity and undermine participatory democracy. Operatives of the Delta State Police Command have arrested a suspected armed robber identified as Mr. Nnamdi Stanley Chibuike after discovering a pistol concealed inside a loaf of bread. The command's public relations officer, Mr. Bright Edafe, who disclosed this in a statement issued in Asaba, said the arrest was made on November 6 during a routine stop-and-search operation by the Rapid Response Squad at Koka Roundabout, Asaba. According to Mr. Edafe, the operatives noticed the suspect's suspicious behavior and conducted a thorough search, leading to the discovery of a fabricated Beretta pistol carefully hidden inside a loaf of bread. The 24-year-old suspect was immediately apprehended and the firearm recovered as an exhibit. The Commissioner for Police, Mr. Baniwanda Olufemi, commended the officers for their vigilance and professionalism, describing the arrest as a demonstration of the command's commitment to proactive and intelligence-led policing. He assured residents that efforts were ongoing to rid the state of criminal elements and urged the public to remain vigilant and provide credible information to the police, promising that all reports will be treated with confidentiality. The global scene is next as we join our World News Desk.
Nearly 1 million people have evacuated their homes in the Philippines as the country braced for another powerful storm. This after a typhoon killed more than 200 people. The storm named Fongwong started battering northeastern Philippines today before it expected landfall, knocking down powerful and prompting warnings from the Weather Bureau of a high risk of life-threatening conditions in the part of the country. The Philippines Atmospheric, Geographical and Astronomical Service Administration, PAGASA, said Fongwong, locally known as Owan, is forecast to make landfall in Aurora province early today night, with maximum sustained wind of up to 185 km per hour and gusts up to 230 km per hour. It raised the highest alert level, signal number 5, for southeastern and the central area, including Catanduanes, Camaronsua, and the Aurora province, while Metro Manila and nearby province were under signal number 3. Fongwong, which could cover 2/3 of the Southeast Asian archipelago with its 1,600 km wide range and wind band, was approaching from the Pacific, while the Philippines was still dealing with the devastating wrath of Typhoon Kamalegi, which left at least 224 people dead in Central Island provinces last week, before Pumelin, Vietnam, where at least 5 were killed. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has declared a state of emergency due to the extensive devastation caused by Kamalegi and the expected calamity from the Fongwong. Britain is providing military support to Belgium after a series of suspected Russian drone incursions on its airspace. The new Chief of Defense Staff, Sir Richard Kington, told newsmen with Laura Kuenssberg that his Belgian counterpart asked for assistance early this week and that equipment and personnel were on the way. Belgium main airport Zaventem was forced to close temporarily on Thursday night after drones were spotted nearby. They were also spotted in other locations, including a military base. Sir Richard said it was not known for sure if the incursions were by Russia, but added it was plausible they had been ordered by Moscow. In a statement, Defense Secretary John Healey said that the UK would help Belgium by providing out kit and capability, which he said was already being deployed. On Friday, the German Defense Minister said it would support Belgium with anti-drone measures after a request from Brussels. About 3,000 Brussels Airlines passengers were affected by the disruption, and the carrier said it faced considerable costs from cancelling or diverting zones of flights. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius and the Belgian Secretary Service have said they suspect Russia, but Belgian Defense Minister Theo Franken has previously admitted there is no accompanying evidence. Drone incursion over West Europe could have been sent, Kremlin Sir Richard said Russia was the most pressing threat right now to Europe. The Shadow Defense Secretary welcomed the move, saying there was a heightened threat environment, and a key part of deterrent threat was by acting with other countries through NATO.
Let's join our business news desk for stories on business and the economy.
The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has reiterated that the ongoing banking sector reforms, especially the recapitalization drive, are pivotal to achieving Nigeria's ambition of a 1 trillion economy by 2030. The CBN Deputy Governor for Financial System Stability, Mr. Philip Ikazo, stated this at the 3-day retreat of the Association of Corporate Affairs Manager of Banks in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, added that stronger and better capitalized banks will boost national development, enhance competitiveness, and improve resilience. Mr. Ikazo emphasized that the reform would enable Nigerian banks to participate in the global economy and be resilient to external and internal shocks. Delivering a lecture on the theme of the retreat, Olomo 2025, Bank Recapitalization and Beyond, Amplifying Brand Resilience and Stakeholders' Financial Inclusivity, the CBN Deputy Governor, who was represented by Mr. Ibrahim Omar Hassan, noted that the recapitalization will make Nigerian bank bigger, but more importantly, better, giving them the capacity to fund large ticket projects and participate in the global economy. He recalled that a similar recapitalization exercise in 2005 consolidated Nigerian banks and made them stronger, allowing them to contribute to the economy and expand regionally. The Federal Executive Council, FEC, has approved 4 key policy initiatives aimed at attracting over $15 billion investment, strengthening the country's intellectual property, digital trade, and service export sector in 5 years. The new policies are projected to create 1 million decent jobs in the service export sector, add 10 billion annually to the GDP, train 10 million Nigerians for global service markets, and attract over $15 billion in investment to digital and creative industries in 2030. This was contained in a statement yesterday by the State House, Abuja. The policy initiative will leverage on the growing importance of the service economy, which accounts for over 50% of Nigeria's GDP, but less than 10% of exports. The Council approved the establishment of a national coordination mechanism for services exports, to be led by the National Talent Export Programs, NATEP. The mechanism is expected to harmonize existing government programs such as 3 Million Tech Talent Initiative, Outsource to Nigeria Initiative, and Tech Pro for Europe into a unified structure, promoting Nigeria's global competitiveness in professional, digital, and creative services.
Let's now dive into food and nutrition. Owo soup is an iconic delicacy especially loved by the Urhobo and Isoko people of Delta states, as well as some parts of Edo State. Known for its vibrant palm oil color and silky smooth texture, the soup stands out because of its unique thickener, usually potash, starch powder, or both, which gives the soup a shiny, creamy finish. In this edition of Food and Nutrition, Favour Okafor takes a look at the traditional masterpiece that continues to command respect on dining tables across generations.
Owo soup has its roots in the indigenous communities of the Niger Delta who heavily depend on palm oil, seafood, and farm crops. The easy availability of palm fruits, fresh or dried fish, crayfish, and native seasonings led to the creation of a meal that was not just satisfying but culturally symbolic. Preparation usually begins with boiling assorted meats of choice, hinds and skin locally called pomo, and fresh fish until tender. A generous quantity of palm oil is then mixed with soaked garri to form a thick base. After this, potash, known as akau or starchy slurry, is gently stirred in to achieve the smooth and glossy finish that defines owo soup. Seasoning, ground pepper, crayfish, and sometimes smoked fish or periwinkle are added to deepen the flavor.
beautiful delicacy, Urhobo delicacy. I take it. It's a common food among the Urhobos, the Isokos, the Shekiris, and Ijos. You must not cover it. If you cover it, the whole thickness will become watery. So when you are allowed to cook to some level where your protein will now have taste with the soup together, your Ogo soup is ready. So you can either eat it with eba, for those who like eba, or eat it with starch, or with black plantain, or yam.
While the Urhobo and Isoko people mostly serve owo soup with starch, other ethnic groups enjoy it with eba, fufu, semovita, or pounded yam. Some homes prefer a lighter watery consistency, others enjoy it thick and creamy, yet each version remains deeply delicious. Nutritionally, owo soup is rich in healthy fats from palm oil, which supplies vitamin A important for good eyesight and boosting immunity. It also contains vitamin C, which strengthens the body's defense system, while the fish and meat components add protein, essential for growth, building muscles, and repairing tissues. In essence, every spoon of owo soup carries both pleasure and nourishment. Beyond nutrition, owo soup holds deep cultural significance. It is commonly shared during festive seasons, traditional ceremonies, and family gatherings. For many Delta homes, serving owo soup is considered an honor to visitors, a symbol of affection, hospitality, and unity.
Owo soup is one of the most interesting African dishes I've ever had or tasted in my life. I love taking it with starch. It is very, very amazing. I mean, the Urhobo people, I don't know who came up with that soup, but it's so fantastic and it's so lovely. And anytime I see owo soup, my jaw drops.
Altogether, owo soup remains more than just a delicacy. It is a heritage in a bowl, a taste of identity, and a proud representation of the rich culinary culture of Delta State. Favor Okafor, reporting.
Owo soup is truly a delight. Still from the entertainment scene, Nigerian chef Hilda Baci has received her second Guinness World Record plaque for cooking the largest pot of jollof rice. Guinness confirmed that Hilda prepared 8,780 kilograms during a Lagos cookout in September, adding to her first record for a 93-hour cooking marathon in 2023. The feat makes her Nigeria's first chef to hold 2 Guinness World Records. The event drew over 20,000 guests, including celebrities and food lovers. All portions of the giant meal were shared with attendees and charity groups in line with Guinness standards. Hilda Baci described the achievement as a story of faith, fire, and history, celebrating Nigeria's creativity and culinary talent. Now for some sports, Katsina United Football Club has denied and condemned online reports alleging violence and a player's death during their recent Nigerian Professional Football League NPFL match against Barau FC at the Muhammad Diko Stadium. The club's media director, Nasir Gide, described the claims as entirely baseless and a deliberate attempt to tarnish the club's image, adding that although the match was tense due to some contentious officiating decisions, security operatives maintained order throughout. The club criticized the publication for not verifying its reports, warning that the misinformation could harm the club and football development in the state and the country. Katsina United also accused Barau FC of amplifying the false reports and said it would allow the league management company to investigate, adding that the club had demanded a retraction and public apology while warning that legal actions could follow if the platform failed to comply. Now to our thought for the day. The best way to make a good life is to be trustworthy, hardworking, and consistent. True. And that's it on Dateline on Delta TV. Many thanks for your time. I am Esther Oputa. Good evening and have a lovely night rest.